Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 78 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. So, yay for day 78. I am really tired, so I didn't do a whole lot of writing tonight, and I read through one chapter and recognizing God's hand in my life, and it makes absolutely no sense. So, I need to revise it. No, that's not entirely true. I wrote the chapter heading was God Never Gives Up, which is a pretty good chapter heading, I think. And then it has, or section heading, depending on how I do it. Anyway, and then it had a nice paragraph that sort of went along with the section heading. And then it completely jumps into something random. So I think it's one of those things where I must have moved stories down to the bottom and either stuck it in the middle somewhere where it didn't belong or something. It's all kind of jumbled. And then the next part I was talking about like after my divorce, which is fine. And then it kind of went from after my divorce and then my ex saying something when I was still married about my biological mom. And then it went into this whole thing about understanding my biological mom after my divorce. So I'm like, I'm not sure. Maybe I should change the heading to understanding my mom instead of after my divorce, because it doesn't really talk about a whole lot after my divorce. It starts out with that, and then it goes into all this stuff from with my mom from before I ever got married, and then it just kind of ends like that. And I'm just like, that's kind of weird. It doesn't tie back into, so I either need to find something to tie it back into and have it be like after my divorce, or have it be understanding my mother, because that's pretty much what the section is about, which is fine. But it's kind of one of those little tangent things where I started something and then it kind of turned into something else, and you can kind of see the thought process where this brought up this, but it didn't finish the what I started, so it just kind of leaves it hanging a little bit there. But I'm too tired to figure it out, so I'm just like, I'm done. I'm like, no. I didn't sleep much last night. I hope I sleep way better today. I did write in my journal last night, which was good. I want to write in my journal again tonight. I'm hoping I can stay awake long enough to do that. And then I did do some personal writing today, which I'm actually grateful for. I don't really want to count like my personal writing for my videos, but maybe I guess for tonight that can count too a little bit. I got frustrated with something earlier today, and it was interesting because I don't know. I'm torn between I was actually overreacting or I was actually responding the way that I should have been responding, but something happened and it triggered some stuff from the past and it triggered, and it also was just current frustration. So it's just dealing with stuff I'm already frustrated with, and something just made it worse, made my situation worse. And so I actually let myself cry today. I got upset and I cried and I prayed and I cried and I, had a little tantrum, vented on Facebook, that sort of a thing. And then, I said a prayer and I sat down and I actually started writing about it. So I didn't wait until I went to write in my journal or some other thing. I just wrote about it and then figured out what it was triggering, what it was bringing up, what it kind of connected to, which didn't surprise me 100%, but it surprised me a little bit because I thought it was going to connect to something else. And as I was writing, something completely different came up. But it just helped me to kind of calm down a little bit. Still haven't 100% let go of it. I'm very good at holding on to things and not letting go. But it did help me to calm down enough, and it did allow me to go to work and do other things. And it also, in the process, allowed me to come up with ideas or solutions, because I was willing to listen to God and be like, okay, what do I do now? How do I prevent this from happening in the future? Because again, it's one of these things that's outside of my control, because someone else changed the rules and I didn't read the fine print or something. And so it just messed everything up for me. So I don't like being out of control. But if things outside of my control I can't do anything about, I can get upset, I can complain, I can, all of those things, but it doesn't change anything. So then I'm like, okay, what can I do differently? What can I do to change? And it's like, okay. So now I know what I need to do, what I need to work on so that this doesn't happen again. But it's frustrating to me because it just feels like it's one more thing I get to do. But I'm grateful that for probably not the only time in my life I've ever done that, but for one of the random times in my life, I actually let myself get upset, and I let myself cry, and I let myself vent, and I let myself write about it all the same day. So, and then I was thinking as I started writing, I was like, Heavenly Father's proud of me because I'm processing my emotions when it's happening. I'm trying not to hold on to it. And then as I finished writing about it, I'm like, I'm kind of proud of me too because I'm trying to let it go. I'm trying to just process it, figure it out. I'm not trying to hold on to it or stuff it down or add it to the pile of all the other stuff that I have to deal with in my life. So, and then I'm just trying to figure out solutions. And I did what I could tonight, and that's all I can do. And I can just continue to work on what I can do. And I'm like, okay, I have a plan, I have a solution, it will work. Um, which I'm grateful for. I know how to do things. I'm grateful that God had given me some more inspiration, insight, ideas. So it's, I mean, it's okay, and it's working, and it will be fine, and I don't have to stress about it. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm just I'm grateful that it worked out one way or the other. Because I mean, it did work out, and everything's gonna be fine. It just, one of those random things that threw me for a loop, and I got upset. And yeah, yeah, things outside of my control, and wishing I can control everything, and feeling like I'm working so hard and making all these changes, and it's like, and now there's just one more thing to be added in my direction. And I was like, can we just stop adding things until I figure out how to handle the stuff that I currently have? But I think God knows that I can handle more than that because I can do more. I'm capable of more than I give myself credit for. And Heavenly Father is showing me what I can do and that it's okay. And He's helping me see that I'm allowed to grieve, I'm allowed to be upset, and I don't have to beat myself up. I don't have to feel like I'm overreacting. I don't have to let it ruin the whole rest of my day. And that was kind of it was just a short little, maybe like an hour out of my day because I write a lot and I cried for a little bit and I had to, make phone calls, which I hate doing. So, but I'm also grateful that I had the prompting, the idea that I needed to check into something. And I was like, I wasn't going to do that because I thought everything was fine. And then I was like, I checked and I was like, oh, and it's not fine. Okay. So it just reminds me that God is in my life, just like my book, God, recognizing God's hand in my life, that He's there, that He's aware of me, He's aware of what I need to do and what I need to work on. And it makes me very grateful that I was willing to listen today, that I was willing to feel today. And not that I'm willing to do that every day, but I feel like that's a good start, a place to start. And I want to give myself kudos for letting myself vent and cry and deal with stuff the same day, the same time, and not trying to hold on to something. Not going to guarantee I will do that every day or all the time because as I've mentioned multiple times, I don't like crying. I don't like getting upset. And then of course I figure if I can hear my neighbors when they're yelling and doing stuff in the other room, they could probably hear me, which I don't like. Makes me feel a little embarrassed because I don't want other people hearing me. But I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm upset. I'm just going to let myself be upset. And I don't normally do that. So it was just an opportunity to, instead of being upset at myself for being upset, that I could be proud of myself for allowing myself to be upset. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I think it does because I know it's okay to be upset. I'm learning that it's okay to be upset. It's just another emotion, and emotions aren't good or bad. And crying can actually be healing. It can help me to feel better. And it's just all part of the process of letting go, letting go of the old emotions, letting go of the current emotions, figuring out how I'm feeling, figuring out why I'm feeling that way, and then letting it go so that I can move on and do the rest of my day. And instead of getting upset, I did get upset. Instead of burying it ignoring it, being depressed, hiding from it, spending my entire day avoiding it, and making my situation worse, which is what I've done way too often in my life. Today, I said, well, I didn't say anything. Today, I just felt it. I just did it. It just happened. Like there wasn't a whole lot of I just let the emotion come. There wasn't a whole lot of thought process, and I tried to stop it for a little bit, and I started to pray, and I'm like, yeah, it's just all coming out. I'm just upset. I'm just gonna be upset. And then there was like a brief flash, and I'm like, I'm overreacting, and I'm like, maybe I am. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm upset. I'm gonna be upset today. And I wasn't upset my whole day. I actually had, it started out pretty good. Got to go for a walk with my friend, which was really nice. Read my scriptures and meditationals. Had to deal with something that was frustrating, but then I was grateful that I got to be upset, and then I got to go to work. Worked a lot later than I wanted to, but it's okay. We got a few extra things done, so I might get a bonus or something this week. So I had to put in a little extra time to get it. But it's worth it for the bonus at the end of the week, I hope. So it's just, things are working and things are falling into place, and God is taking care of me. And I can see that. And I'm grateful that I can see that. And I'm grateful I don't have to be upset for being upset. I'm grateful I was able to write about what I was frustrated about. And that helped to put things into perspective, and that helped to calm me down and calm myself down enough that I could find a solution, or open to listening to a solution that God was offering to me, instead of just freaking out, or instead of doing absolutely nothing and just feeling like I have to deal with it. Because in the past I'd be like, oh great, now I have to deal with this, now I have to figure out something else, to make up for it, or whatever. It's just other people can do whatever they want to me, and I have no say, I have no control, I can't do anything. And today I did something, and granted, it means I still have to change and do some things differently. But I can set boundaries for myself, and I can make some changes so that I don't run into this situation again in the future. And I'm repeating myself because I'm really tired. I'm like, I'm really grateful for this, but I think I've said it like 5 times already, so I apologize. My writing for today was just reading through that one chapter that needs a little bit of revision, maybe needs something added to the end of it to kind of tie it back into the beginning. And I'm just too tired to think as to what that would be right now. And then my little personal writing to where I could just be proud of myself for being myself today, and not caring. And well, I mean, I cared enough about myself to feel my feelings and to figure them out, which is something I haven't done in the past. So it makes me feel good that I'm doing something. It's one of those progress, not perfection things, and allowing myself to see or recognize God's hand in my life today, and just something as simple as that. And I'm like, okay, and being okay with being upset instead of being upset that I got upset. So grateful for that. And I think that's all I have. I apologize for my rambling, but if you do like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. Please don't make fun of me in the comments for being repetitious. I'm just one of those days today, but I'm grateful that I can still make my video, and I hope you all have a great day full of gratitude and maybe some writing.